to go live. There it is.
Shane, one day we do these commercials, I'm gonna like do an ad lib and just
there you go. Hey,
industrial.
They can hear it. Hey, it'll be more entertaining than that music I was trying to play.
Yes.
You just gotta, you gotta be careful. You know what music you put on here because of copyright junk. So.
That's right.
So anyway, I appreciate all these sponsors.
You're outdoor living. One call, Stephen.
They've been all busy. Oh, Steve been busy, I know.
I bet he has with it being summertime.
Oh yeah, these installs. He was telling me how to climb in some attics and stuff.
Oh, we got some new Kelly.
That's right. That's my buddy. That's right. That's my buddy Jason. He's got all that MSHA training on the app now. It's awesome. So you don't have to sit in there, John, and watch them 1960 videos.
Oh yeah, don't get like PowerPoint, death by PowerPoint, what we call it. Yeah. You watch a app on your phone now, and
yeah, he's got to add Jason. You don't realize, like, say that you've had that training before, and you got to renew your training. You can be like, hey, Jason, I need to renew my training. Hey, he sends you that app. You watch the videos, and you're back on the road. So.
Yeah, he probably gives you a login. You get a search.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well,
work smarter, not harder.
He just got it set up where you've had to train them before, so there's not like you're inexperienced. You know, you're just it's not new minor training. It's just renewing. So the mayor says hello. Looky there.
Is that Don?
Don, the Mayor Gartman. He's at home. I talked to him yesterday. Shiloh's on here.
I guess he got his whole caravan moved back to home.
He did. He got it. He's got it in storage. There's the old the weed farmer. Shiloh's on here.
The weed farmer.
What's that stuff he's taking out? What's that grass? Eelgrass. Eelgrass farmer.
Yes.
I shouldn't say weed farmer.
I don't think weed farmer because everybody thinks
remover of it. Shiloh's about to be a papa.
Man, any day now.
Yeah, any day. His wife is she's far along in the process, and we're excited.
Yes.
For the little baby to get here.
Oh yeah. Jordan Hauser's tuned in on YouTube. Man, we got some people turning. Shiloh says, "Hey, Jessica."
Hey.
Tommy, I'm going to call you back, Tommy. I was selling my truck out there, buddy. I'll call you back after the show. I had some guys come pick up my old Toyota, so I was trying to get that did before get it done before the show started. So well, let's just go ahead and talk about this, John. What is that?
That's the new sled.
Look there, fella. Go on and tell everybody what you did today.
So every day I look for a 521 or a 522 Ranger every day, and some I missed out on a deal by about 45 minutes one time on one that I was going to have to repower, and this one had been repowered. And I sent a guy a message last night. He messaged me during the night, and I called him back this morning. I thought it was an appropriate time to call him, and we got on the phone with each other, and basically he bought that boat and rigged it out for his son to fish high school bass fishing. And his boy got in a little trouble at school and didn't allow him to be on the bass fishing team anymore. So he's, when I was there with him, he said, there's consequences when you get in trouble around this house. So he put it for sale, and I was fortunate enough to be on site today.
Yeah.
And so we're about to swap some electronics and control the motor and stuff.
That's a good looking boat, boy. Got a 22 motor on it, right?
It does. Got 3 years warranty left on the motor. It's an older boat, but it's what I wanted. And I told Jessica, I said, we find the right one, we're going to get it. Because you find those boats, and especially one that's been repowered like that, people scoop them up. And when I was sitting there buying it from him, there was two people called on the phone.
Oh, yeah. People know what they are. Eric's running one. Jameson's running one. Patrick Stone's been running one since Jesus, But all them guys, man, they just that's the rig. That's the rig to run.
I was just fortunate to hit it just right on it, and there's a lot of stuff I want to do to it to make it special for us.
Right.
But I think we're gonna really enjoy it.
Yeah, I was in meetings all morning, and John's like, "I really need you to step out and call me." I was like, okay, "Give me 5."
He called me, said, "Hey," I said, "What's up?" I could tell the tone of his voice. I'm going to look at this Ranger. I was like, he said, "I got check with me." I said, "Well, hell, just send me a picture when you get it."
Well, Jessica, she trusts me in my, in doing stuff like this, and I still wanted to run it by her.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I was pulling in to get the money from the credit union, and I said, I really, really need you to call me. I'm about to do something.
She didn't. Hey, she was working nurse at the hospital, running around. You like, hey, got something important to talk to you about. So
exactly.
Hey, congratulations! I know it's about. You've been talking about one of them.
He has been wanting one for a really
long time since I met him. So it's sure did. I mean, you see what Shiloh says. I'd sell my bird for a fight any day of the week. And hey, Shiloh loves that falcon. So, but hey, and we're going from serious note to something funny. This is my family. I'm gonna go and share this. I'm gonna tell you all the story, and then I'm gonna show you the picture. My brother posted this picture of my nephew, and they were going to get some worms. They live on Buck Creek, and he wanted to brim fish. So, my daddy carries him to the hardware store. No shirt, no inner. So my daddy proceeds to put a Dollar General bag on my nephew there. Hey, and that's what. Hey,
Shane, explain. They wanted him to have a shirt on to go in and buy the worms.
They wanted him to have a shirt on. Daddy threw one of them redneck specials on him, got in there and got him some worms. And he's got the bug pretty bad. He's like the rest of us. So I got enjoyment out of that picture. But
that is hilarious.
Love it.
Hey, Dollar General bag. Of course, they need to tie a couple to get over on me, but
a couple.
yeah, hey, come on, be nice, Jess. But I thought I'd share that. Just my dad, he's very entertaining, and my poor nephew gets it honest. And from me and my brother, my dad, me and my brother get it from my dad. So Jameson said, "John, you moved up and joined the party." Look at that.
Oh Lord. Top 5, baby.
Top 5. Shiloh's trying to get me to model one of them bags now. Hey, I have wore a garbage sack before when it rained. I have wore one of them construction bags one time. Made a poncho. It worked good too.
Shane, we got to get you one that they put leaves in. I don't like that. Dollar General's
One
gonna
of
do it.
them heavy duty construction bags. Woo! You talking about being hot? There's Dave drilling tuned in. Byron Weiss said, "Welcome to the club." He talking about the Ranger Club. Byron's got a nice 521 too, with a 3 hundo on it. Hey, Eric Cagel's on here, man. My buddy Eric. I guess he took a break because he gets done with his shift at 8:30 in the mornings over on the Big G. So he.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, I literally get through eating breakfast, get my tea, and I walk out the door and it's 8 something, and he's already posted up.
Hey, and we gotta watch out. Jessica and Eric done broke out in a fight right here over the internet.
Hey, we love Eric to death. He's over in Grenada Guide, and they're whooping on him. Jameson's whooping on them. I know they're changing some regulations over there. It's not going to hurt them guys none. I mean, people take, a lot of people, 99% of the people take care of that lake. So, hey, I think it'll be fine. So, but hey, that's funny. I think I saw the pictures I got to share. Yeah, it is. My nephew and John's new rig. So, that's a bad dude right there, though. Hey, that thing is a 04, John. Isn't that what it is? Isn't that what you told me?
And it's got a 2022 Mercury 250 Pro XS on it. We got 3 years of warranty left on the motor.
That's good stuff. I know you're gonna rig. I know you said you're gonna move some stuff off your other boat, and and get some stuff rigged, and you're gonna end up selling your boat. Isn't that correct?
My boat's gonna end up being something somebody's gonna want to buy because
it's gonna be ready to go.
There's a Solix 12 and a 126 on the boat, and the boat that I bought. I'm gonna put it on my boat. So
Mm-hmm.
my boat are basically the boat I'm selling is basically gonna be rigged out to go fishing and immediately catch fish. So
Yeah, there's not gonna be any nothing. You're gonna push go, and
yes, and
that's a good selling point right there.
it's gonna. These guys had built the boat that I bought today for a kid to go out and tournament bass fish. So it's got a lot of good stuff on it. And I mean, I'm not a fan of that Garmin trolling motor, but a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, I run. No, I
You want to run 4 miles an hour and catch fish? I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna put the Garmin trolling motor from the boat
right
bought today on my boat, and you can use it. But
that's right.
We're just excited about getting it, and it's something we wanted for a while.
Well, they've in the crappie world, there's never enough people in here commenting. Byron, Eric, and Everett Jameson. It's proven itself for what you want it for. So that's the selling point of the boat. Like Eric told me, he got in Jameson's boat, and when he pointed that thing in the wind, and it just stuck like glue, he was like, "That's it." So he went on the hunt for him one. And I don't blame him. It's just a very, very well built boat, and then you put a new motor on it, and the transom's good. You got a sure enough rig.
I got to tell y'all a funny story about that. So I got there today, and the guy, he wasn't there yet, but he told me, he said, I'll pull it around from under the house or under the carport, pull it in the front yard. If you get there before me, you go ahead and start looking at it. I was like, okay. So I get there and I get there a little earlier than he does on purpose because that's the stuff I do when I look at a boat. If somebody's going to allow me to look at it before they get there, I will. And so I trim the motor up, take the transfer saver off of it, and I let that motor down. And I get on back there on the fin on the foot of the motor, and I start like bouncing on it, and I'm watching that transom to see if it's moving any, or if there's any separation from where the seam is. And about the time I'm doing it, he pulls up. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I was just checking this thing out." And he said, "I've never seen anybody jump on a motor like that." And I said, "Well," I said, "I want to make sure this transom was good." He said, "Well, I've dealt with a lot of boats before, but I've never seen that." I said, "Well, next time you go buy one, do the same thing."
If you see any separation, those boats are, that was I'm not going to say the weak link, but that was what was, giving people trouble, and having to redo them. But hey, like you said, you made sure it didn't have any separation there or any cracks, so it's good to go. So.
And we're taking it where on the maiden voyage?
You tell me.
I know where you're going. You're going to the forest.
We actually have no plans this weekend, and I am so excited.
Yeah, I know Jessica. She's probably getting her Christmas stuff out.
Yes.
Oh, God, love it. Hey.
It's only 6 months, but I'm not.
She's a big Christmas person. I enjoy it too. So
I can't believe she ain't already got the stuff on the porches, the banners and all for 4th of July. She's a little behind.
I know it's a little early.
There's my dad. My dad just tuned in. You see this picture, Dad? What's up with that? Oh goodness. All right. Well, so let's see.
Eventually, we got to talk about fishing. We
done caught everybody up on the stuff. I was fortunate enough to go to Lake Eufaula, Alabama. I went Thursday to make sure I had some customers of Rayco coming Friday and Saturday, and I wanted to go Thursday, make sure the fish were still there where we left them, a couple of weeks ago. And I told John I stopped in the creek, and man, I'll be honest with y'all, it was a ghost town, man. A bunch of little dinks. Started going towards the river, found a few fish, and I called John, and we're talking. He goes, "Hey, man, they're on the ledges of the river. Go on." And what was weird to me, the water temperature is not anymore. It's not any hotter. Bait's still in the creek. It's just like they knew it was time to go out there, and I actually went out there Friday and whooped on them pretty good. I had to take a 30-second and a split shot. I was showing the rig. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I had to take a split shot and a little 30-second because of the wind. And that's a gray ghost limits tackle. And get it down there to those fish because of the wind and the current, and caught a lot of fish that were coming up doing that little nipping, and caught plenty of fish Friday. Saturday, this little lemonade bait, that's what John calls it. It's a monkey milk and a little shad and a little chartreuse. And I was running it, the chartreuse down. And I noticed, I told John this, and a lot of people probably know this. I've never really paid attention. But I had a fellow woman, Bubba, was with me, and he was like, "Hey man, you're catching a lot more fish than I am." I was like, well, let me stop and see exactly what I'm doing. And I realized that I didn't ever move my jig till that fish kind of initiated my jig, till he gave it some attention. And then I moved it, and then it was a shorter run for the fish to chase it. And what he was doing, he was throwing, and he was reeling by the fish. Fish would come off, turn down. But I went in those black crappie, I noticed if you kept it by them and they initiated it, then you would, your odds of catching them. I was like, oh, okay. I'm really setting it on them a little longer before I take off. And we caught a lot of fish doing that Saturday. Caught our limits both days, and they were exactly where John and I talked about. I'd fish one area and just kept beating on it, and they kept replacing. They come in off the river, come in there, stop by a stump. I'd catch a few. They'd run off, and you could hang around in another school and coming in there. So they're doing whatever they do down there. So they're loading up. So, but it was fun. It was a fun trip. But that's kind of catching you up on my fishing from the weekend.
How was your fishing this weekend?
Me and Big Ray and I had a big time up in Kentucky.
That's right. Go ahead and tell everybody.
Y'all, we talk about this stuff, and it's stuff we talked about since we started this show, is being able to go and break down a lake, show up, you've never been there before, and look at a map and make a plan, go and execute that plan. Well, we did that on Green River Lake in Kentucky. Ray and I did.
Never heard of it, but I've heard people now. I've heard of it. So
yeah, so I was sitting on the couch, Jessica and I, last week. I said, we're going up there. I said, I'm going to try here, here, and here. And that's what Ray and I did. We got on the water. I had some stuff marked in the areas we wanted to fish. We went and side scanned it. And sure enough, people were of the same mindset as far as putting out, brush piles and stuff, and some of the ledges with stumps on them were the same stuff that we catch fish on anywhere we go in the country. And so I was just sitting on the couch here last week, marked that stuff, went there, looked on side imaging, it was there, marked it, come back, got on the trolling motor and caught fish. And that's what we talk about, Shane and I do, every week is how to get from the couch to catching fish to cleaning fish.
Well, that's right. Well, you showed me how the little horseshoes and the little cutouts in the ledges, but like naturally, where I caught those fish, it was a cutout of the ledge where it was steep and it just kind of flattened out. And when that river gets up, those logs pile in there and get jammed. So guess what? There's structure there, there's shad there, and here comes the crappie. So it was something you could see on the map, and if you caught fish on there, at that place, and you can find another one to duplicate it. I mean, there's either going to be some man-made structure there or some natural stuff you got there. And if you can repeat it, next thing you know, you got your milk run where you can, catch a lot of fish.
Yeah, it was funny though. The second day we were there, me and Ray were out there, and I said, we come around the spot, we come up on this flat, and I said, Ray, if it was me, this flat right here would be littered with stuff, and as far as brush piles and stuff. And he said, why? And I just showed him what I saw as far as, contour lines and the way it looked. And we didn't go 20 yards up on that flat, and it was brush pile.
Yeah, you said that was
it was doing so fast, and I couldn't mark it quick enough. I was having to knock the boat out of gear, so I didn't miss one. And that next morning, that's where we started, and it was loaded. And
there a lot of whitefish on it, didn't John? Didn't know what you told me?
You can catch more either whitefish on that lake than anywhere I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, it's loaded. I mean,
there's 10, 11 inches just chewing.
Yeah, 11-inch whitefish just sitting out there. Well, on some of the flats, I mean, you couldn't even see what they were on.
What is the limit in Kentucky, John? I don't even know.
Well, it's depending on which lake you're on.
Okay.
That lake there was, I think, a 10-inch minimum. You could have maybe 20 a piece or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the specifics of. Ray was up on that. We limited it out, and we had a couple good fish every day. But I told him, I said, "Do you want to act like we're down tournament fishing, or do you want to have a good time?"
Yeah, that's right.
These legends find these certain stumps with some bigger fish on, or do you want to go find a bunch of fish to catch? And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We
There it is.
Tournament fishing and the competitive stuff on purpose. Yeah, there you go. 10.
I appreciate it, Kenneth. That's right.
So,
I was just curious, that
nowadays when I go somewhere new, we're trying to have a big time to catch a bunch of fish. Hell, it's fun to be done early in the morning, then go be looking for new spots.
Well, Eric, yeah, your biscuit ain't even settled in your stomach, and you're done.
But, joke, that Green River Lake, it's got muskie, smallmouth.
Yeah, you told me the brush pile's got a smorgasbord. It's just.
I want to go back and not worry about crappie fish and worry about some of that other stuff. Like, I've never caught a muskie before. I've caught some smallmouth before.
Yeah.
But never caught a muskie. I mean, I'd love to go there in the spring when they get up shallow and just try it. They say it's tough, but and then you go below Cumberland down, and you start getting all the trout.
That's what you said below the dam. I don't know you saying that.
I mean, next time we go back, I'll fight the ticks up there. They got more ticks. Oh my God, Kentucky up there in that Kentucky area, they've got more ticks than you ever want to down swat away. But anyway, I want to go back up there again and not. I mean, I'm not saying we're not crappie fish, but at least go mess with some of that trout and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've caught some below Smith Lake Dam, back. But Chad Gillen's talking about Kentucky Lakes on the rebound. What's his name? Chase that guides up there. He's been sacking them up there. The guys at Pickwick.
We didn't mess with Kentucky Lake. We just fooled with. We fished Dell Hollow the first day, and I don't know if anybody else has been on Dell Hollow. This is not the time of the year to fish Dell Hollow. There is more boat traffic there than I've ever seen in my life, and the water is clear as just gin clear. But you better have your back brace if you want to fish there.
You got a lot of recreation stuff going on.
Oh my God! And then, they got down anything you can imagine on that. But there again, we were on Green River Lake, and there was a pontoon boat with two twin 400s on it. So
that blows my mind.
Yeah, people took I don't know who decided this, but when my granddad had a pontoon, he wanted me to drive him. It had a 90 on it or 75. He wanted to slip down the river and go down to the restaurant and ease back. Now they're trying to make speedboats out of pontoons. I can't figure that out. To me,
Hey, when Jessica and I bought ours, we wanted to be able to pull the kids on a tube. And
there you
go. We bought a 175, and I thought I was overdoing it. But now, it's Katie Bar door, so.
Yeah, but I know Pickwick's that way. Lake Martin gets that way. Logan Martin's that way. People buy those boats and they want to enjoy it just as much as we like fishing. So, they only get a couple months out of the year and they making that payment all year long, so they want to burn their gas.
Oh, now we ride our pontoon year round.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen y'all get out there with a blanket. I've seen Jessica get out there with a sleeping bag.
But up there where they're at in Kentucky, they don't have like 3 months of boating weather.
Right.
They got to get at it when they get at it, yeah. And it's pretty amazing. You pull in one of those marinas up there, it'll be 300 boat slips. And the minimum on one of those boat slips is 2,400 for the year. So they're, if you get your marina up there, I mean, I know there's a lot of maintenance involved in it, but obviously they're making some good money on it too.
That's good for them. Derek, my buddy Derek from Illinois, he said that I know he's talking about Bull Shoals up in Arkansas. He said he got keys to a house up there. I know they used to smallmouth fish up there. I don't even know where Bulls.
They were catching walleye up there too. So every time I hooked into a big fish, I was like swearing it was a walleye. I had every excuse in the world for other than a catfish, but it was a catfish every time.
Oh, David Fales is on here. He's caught a few walleye. He's funny up there in Ohio.
Me and David and I talked about it. He wants me to go with him catch one. I'd love to.
Yeah, you know that's
y'all. But next Thursday is the 4th.
Oh, that's right. We won't have a show next week. That's right. I'm glad y'all brought it up. Hey, everybody.
Tonight we're going to do something we hadn't done in a couple weeks. We're going to do a giveaway on a hat, and we'll ship it out to you. We're not doing it right now. Jessica will announce it here shortly, and we'll talk about it.
I just saw that 4th, and I'm like, next
I'm
Thursday.
glad you said that, Jess, because I would never thought about it. But everybody, you know.
That's why y'all had me on here.
That's exactly right to do all the smart stuff. Everybody needs to enjoy the holiday. Hey, a lot of people sacrifice, including John, when we can celebrate holidays like that. July the 4th is a big one. It kind of falls on a Thursday. It's kind of going to kind of mess Friday up. The people I need to go see as far as, industrial contracting, they're going to be off on Fridays. Anybody that's got, that I need to see. So I don't know how I'm going to try to hit it pretty hard Monday through Wednesday and enjoy the holiday myself. So.
Just got a work call, so we'll keep rocking on.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I know I'll fish sometime this weekend. I'll haul my boat wherever I'm going, Florida, wherever, and I may try to go to Seminole and see if John can help me find some fish. He caught some last time he was down there. So.
Oh, Shane, we haven't talked since you and I went fishing.
No, I forgot. We went third. When did we go? When did we go?
Last week.
I was in Andalusia visiting a Power South, and me and John went out that afternoon.
Yeah, we went.
It was Wednesday. Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday, Shane and I went out, and we stroked some fish. Hell, we went out there anytime. I thought we had like 40.
I was catching him on this little orange, John pulled up on some stumps right there by his house, and he said, this stump's usually got a bunch of fish on it. And, man, it was fun, guys, because John spot locked the motor, and we didn't even look at the live scope. We were just throwing in our camp, just beating on them. It was fun. It was like back in the day, you kind of count that jig down and lean back on them. They were biting. That was a lot of fun.
We shot some docks and caught some.
Yeah,
and
we did. They're out there. They're out there in the freezer. Matter of fact,
we fished some brush piles, and the good thing about it, this little lake is I know it like the back of my hand, and Shane, I tell Shane, I say, all right, they about done on this spot. Let's go to the next one. He's like, all right, we just bump and move.
That's right. We did. We moved. Hey, then we seen some giant schools. Tell them about that, John. I mean,
yeah. All right, so I've got a couple spots in a certain area that normally hold better white crappie, and they'll bite better during the hot time of the year. And I said, Shane, let's run and go look at them right quick. And we got up there, and it was absolutely loaded with schools of little small fish.
Yeah,
I bet there was 400 or 500 fish in a school.
It was giant schools.
Couldn't even get to the daggum tops I was trying to get to. And I said, well, this is a bust. So I said, let's go here. And we move. I said, that thing about here is you got to bump and move to get away from the little turds to get some fish you want to keep and eat,
Right. Yeah, and hey, downsizing the bait, while I'm thinking about it, that's big time on these black crappie this time of year, guys. Downsizing your bait, alternating your retrieve. You got to figure out what combination works for that day. You're not going to catch a lot of those black crappie at one time. I mean, I would catch, I think the most we caught this weekend was 7 or 8 out of one little pile on it, and then they would kind of just shut down and move. So downsizing your bait helps that. This is by Lemons Tackle. I called Steve, and at Lemons told him I wanted some of these. He sent some to me for some samples, and I just put it on the jig, and I went spanking. So, heck, I was like, I want to get me some more of those. It's just enough contrast. It's not real bright. Like I said, it looks like lemonade, like John said. Works great. It's a little old.
To help you name stuff, I guess we'll call it out lemonade.
It does look like lemonade. It really does.
Hey, I gotta help Creek 1 second.
Go ahead. But I downsized that bait. I was running it on the blackhead. I had to get a hook, guys, to fit that bait. But like I was saying, I caught on to those fish. I mean, the fish is here. I would take my bait, float it down here, and I would kind of shake it, twitch it twice. And when the fish addressed it, then I was starting to move. And I learned to do that instead of just letting it go down there and taking off with it. I let one of the fish make his mind up, see if I could get his, reaction bite instinct to come out. And that's exactly what I was doing. No, I was throwing a 16th, Clinton. It's a 16th. When the Saturday, the wind wasn't blowing as bad. So there, I got like 6-8 inches between the split shot. You could take your little small tungsten weight too and peg it. But what was going on, Derek, is those crappie would come up and just bump my jig. They were just bumping it. And I know they were, like John said, they're just really half-assed trying to eat it, just sucking in a little bit of water. But that 30-second, you see how small it is. Make sure I don't hit anything. It is a small jig. It's little bitty. So when they go in there and do that little suck job, I don't know what size split shot that is. It goes by numbers. It's not very big. It's like
probably it's not an 8. It might be like a 6.
Yeah, it's not very big. It don't weigh probably, a 16th. I don't even know what it weighs, but it's just to get that little bait down, because we were dealing with 2-foot waves, dealing with boat waves. And believe it or not, I told John, those bass boats, I think they were keeping the shad stirred up, and it was pushing them up that ledge to us. I was kind of complaining about all the bass boats, but I was like, man, it's pushing the shad to the structure, and they would hang out on top of, flash around, and it would fire the crappie up. Then they'd move around, but then the boat would come by, and here they come back again. So I don't know. I think the boats were actually helping us on that ledge. So, but Chris, me and John cast most of the time, man. I don't jig too much. Straight over them. It's kind of I guess, John, when you get in that 25-foot range, you got such a good angle on your jig instead of being like this, your line, that you're kind of doing kind of half and half. You're jigging and casting. You're really not straight over and vertical, but you're stalled out enough, to hold that bait in front of them.
I tell everybody I start the assault at about 38 feet.
There you go.
The assault starts at 38 feet, and then we move in a little bit from there. And the closest Jessica and I will ever get to a pile, if we can, is 20 feet. 20
feet's a good number. If you got no boat slap, the water's got a little slap.
Yeah, we don't like to get closer than that, because it messes with the way we like our jig presentation.
That angle, you're dealing with like this.
We prefer to be at 25 to 30.
There you go. Like I said, your line's sitting like this towards the fish at 40 feet, like this. But I noticed, as my jig's coming at them, I have to go back pretty fit. But when I get that 25-foot range, I can stall it a little more. And I'm giving them a chance for those blackfish to look at my bait. He may just get up and say, kiss my butt and not bite. But I notice a lot of people that fish with me are throw, and they'll reel their bait by the fish. The fish will come out and chase 10 feet and go right back. And if you sit there and hesitate a little bit, when that fish addressed your bait, he's more likely to get fired up. It's like a cat and a laser. You set that laser there, it's going to look at it and know it's there, but you start easing it off, it starts looking. And when you take on off, the cat gets interested. There's just a predator instinct, to me, cat, fish, whatever. You can kind of associate it together. But I noticed it big time Saturday. And I was trying to tell Bubba, because he was like, man, what are you doing? And I'd done it subconsciously, I really didn't think. I'd just get down there and shake it, and then I'd take off with it. I really didn't realize I was doing that. And when he asked me, I was like, man, I'm going to tell some folks that, because I didn't realize I'd done it that much. John does it too. Jessica does it too. We all do it. Eric does it. But you just really don't, when you're teaching somebody, they're glad they're right in the same areas of fish, and they're just starting to reel, so it's The
worst thing you can do is when that fish starts following that bait is give it to the fish.
Oh yeah, he don't need no help. You're exactly right.
Do not dip. Like you see that fish following, do not dip and try to give the bait to the fish. Make that son going to be a predator. that crappie is a predator.
That's right.
Be on the hunt. Do not try to give it to him.
Keep that nose up.
Well, like John says, they get on that kickstand. Hey, and that jig, and he starts speeding up. You speed up. Make him. Because you got to realize, guys, that shad is supposed to be afraid of that crappie. He's supposed to be. He's not supposed to. Hey man, what's up? Hey, go ahead, eat me. No, hey. And what's crazy, I noticed those shad, John. Shad never look down. They come over them stumps and just get murdered. I mean, they'll sit on top of that thing and go in circles. And they're just getting murdered. I'm sitting there watching just a massacre, but they never look down. I guess they're like crappie. Their eyes are on top, mostly on top of their head. But they just kept flashing around in circles, and I was like, man, y'all fixing to get smashed. And I watched them get taken out. But
Big Ray and I were fishing a stump, and it's actually it was a stump. Anyway, so he brings a small fish out, and I'm like, that's a turd. Take it away from it. Because all right, so a lot of times, like if I see it's a small fish, I say take the bait away from it, and just real fast get away from it. Well, he had a turd that come up on his bait, and I said take it away from it. Well, he goes to take it away from it, and one of the big ass catfish come up out of the damn brush pile. It smoked that bait. It got the bait, but the fish was following the bait.
Really?
And the fish just disappeared. He said, I think I just killed that fish. I said, yeah, you did.
Hey, like you said, he liked the way that thing danced. Blake's asked this question twice. I need to address it, Blake. He said he put a 126 and a LVS 34 in his boat this past week. How important is it to calibrate it when you start using it?
I don't calibrate. It makes me.
Yeah.
I mean, I just go fishing with it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever calibrated a compass on my new one either.
If it starts acting a fool, calibrate the compass. Just go fishing with it, start off. I mean, but make sure you got your updates. I say that.
Yeah, I think they got them all straightened out now. I think they really do.
Take it out. If it works, don't mess with it.
Yeah, hey, that's right, Blake. Don't talk messing with it till you have to, buddy.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If it works when you go out fishing with it, don't mess with it. If you can see your bait and you see the fish, catch fish. Don't say, oh, I can see a little bit of line here, or I can see a break here. If you can see your bait and you can see the fish, go fishing and catch fish. Don't try to make it the most perfect thing in the world. The people that are trying to make it perfect every time are the ones that aren't catching fish and they're not seeing fish. You know what I'm saying? They're riding around like, oh, well, my screen ain't just right. I'm like,
right. Well, it's not. And people want it super clear, and
yeah.
Sometimes, I understand.
Yeah, if you were casting baits to fish, you wouldn't be worried about how perfect it did look.
Yeah. That's like they ask me, how do you know that's crappie? On the side scan. I said, well, I look at the shape of them, hell, and I also catch them. And it's not a smart ass answer. I mean, if I look and they're round in shape, they're around a stump, and I turn around and catch them, say, hey, that's a crappie. You can associate it together. Without.
Here's another good point. This time of the year,
that picture John shared. Look how round those fish are. Keep talking, John.
All right, so we were up there at Green River Lake, and we were wanting to find some dirtier water and some timber to fish, or something to orient with that we were comfortable with, because Del Hollow was deep, and to be honest, the boat traffic made it miserable. So we went to Green River Lake the next day. I rode through the mouth of this creek, and I saw a bunch of fish on side image and on Ray's boat. And I don't know what it was about Green River Lake. I had to really adjust his unit to that water. It's something like I've never adjusted a side imaging unit to.
Mm-hmm.
I did, and we got where we could see good. So we got where we could see side imaging. I went through the mouth of this creek, and there was fish out there at the mouth of it. So I saw them. I was like, let's just push a little further up in here. These fish are going to be different than back home. We got up in there. Hell, the water temperature up there, because that clearer water, was warmer than I left down here. We got in there. We caught some little turkey, a little small white crappie, and I said, let's come back out to the mouth of this creek. we get out there and there's fish suspended just like crappie. They ain't got the right shape. You know what I mean? If you ever get in that situation, like fish are suspended and you shine the live scope or whatever on, and they shoot to the bottom, everybody and their brother thinks that that's crappie that are going to the bottom. Look at their profile before they go to the bottom, guys. It's a lot of times it's not crappie. That's dadgum catfish. You shine that beam on. Catfish have got where they can feel that live scope.
They don't have scales, so
yeah, right. So they feel that beam off that slime on their side, and they don't have those scales. They're going to the bottom.
They're dipping and dodging it. So
right. That crappie, he's going to give you a round profile, and he'll sit there for a while. Don't get me wrong. Some of the crappie are catching on the game, and they'll move and do all the stuff they do. But if you keep shining on fish that are suspended, and they immediately shoot down to the bottom when you shine it on them, that's not them. When you see that right round profile and he sits still for a little while longer and you can fish for him, that's what you're looking for. Hey, we went across probably 100-yard stretch, and I said, Ray, this ain't what we're looking for. Let's move on. And we moved on, went to another area, got on the hump, and we started busting their butts. But everybody says they keep going to the bottom. They keep going to the bottom. A lot of that going to the bottom is not crappie.
That's right. Well, a lot of people, you don't realize, man, you see them every trip you go, John. Somebody stays somewhere too long, and they're not wearing crappie out this time of year in one spot. You know, most of the time they're misidentifying fish. They're seeing little turds, they're chasing, and they stay with them, instead of moving on and finding some fish that want to bite. I mean, that's the thing. You'll see somebody sitting there and, man, they're staring down at that screen, and you know, everybody's been there. And you're like, man, he's been there a little bit too long, because you know they're not sitting there catching, 20, 30, 40 on one spot. So try to make sure you can identify a crappie and, and start identifying your fish and moving on to find some fish that bite. That way you're maximizing your time on the water instead of chasing fish that's never going to bite,
Another thing, if you ever see a fish that's looking downward toward the bottom, and people, once they get when they see fish on this stuff, they're like, oh, there's a fish, let me try to catch it. If the fish is not looking up or lateral with the bottom, you know what I'm saying, parallel with the bottom, that's not cracking. If he's looking down, his nose is pointed down, don't fool with him if you're crappie fishing. You can go catch whatever you want to go catch, but you want something that's, parallel with the bottom or slightly looking up.
Well, I've thrown it.
I've chased them before. Look, hey, I've wasted my time. I'm trying to help y'all.
Yeah, I'll see a fish stop by some standing timber, and they're all suspect. Crappie, carp. Bad thing about this time of year, carp and crappie are all in the same vicinity. They're all over each other. I think some of those crappie get under those carp to shade from the sun. I really do. I think they use them sometimes for that, because I've always caught them right there together. But, it's great practice to throw at them. Make sure you go by or spook the fish. Sometimes they end up being big crappie. But Jordan's got a question. Any tips on sizing crappie? That's a great question. With an LVS 34. That's a good question, man.
But so the biggest thing is keep your settings. Like if you want to truly size up fish, like we keep ours on 20 feet deep, and we start fishing totally fishing the fish. 45 out is where we keep it, like 45 feet out from the boat and 20 feet deep. And you buy a new screen, like if you go from a 10 to a 12, it's going to be different for you, the size of the fish. We still run grid squares to help size fish, but the biggest thing is your depth and you start fishing for fish.
At 45 feet, John, isn't that square 2 foot? Isn't that right? Yeah, that's right. It's 2 foot.
So, you can look within that grid square, but here's the thing people don't realize. if the fish is facing away from you, you're not going to get that side image of the fish to know it's linked.
You just get the outline of his back.
So you got to pick up on things like that. And Jordan, I would just try to keep that depth and that distance, consistent, and then help you with sizing them up. I don't want to try to catch a fish below 20 feet. It's too aggravating.
Yeah, no kidding.
For fish fries, we're not trying to, be competitive with it anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
All right, now what?
Time for the giveaway.
Oh yeah. All right.
I've been trying to
I gotta type in.
Wait,
all right. You got to put in www.fishoutlaw.com, and she's gonna pick a number.
7.
Number 7.
There you go.
A hat from Outlaw Crappie Poles. It's www.fishoutlaw.com.
They fix to start popping on there.
Good.
Number 7. They jumping on there right now.
There's a new owner of Outlaw Crappie Poles. He is trying to do everything he can to expand it and make everybody happy. Anybody's had any problems with it so far? We have definitely, he has definitely tried to take care of that. I would not be a part of it if he wasn't trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I see he's hustling at it. I know we already got a winner. I'm refreshing it twice. Since I'm the moderator, I get updated first. We say that every time we give away. I promise you, my count and your count is going to be different. Number 7. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're actually giving away a hat that is different than the hat Jessica's got on. So
there's your winner right there, Mark Brown. Number 7.
Mark Brown. Mark, message Shane or I, and we will ship you your hat.
Mark. I appreciate all y'all sharing that. Number 7. Congratulations. Like I said, I'll update this thing twice and then count. Believe it or not, when this show's over, all these comments, they mix up even on the moderator of my page. So appreciate all y'all typing that in for them. There you go. And a bunch of people shared it. I appreciate y'all. Man, this hour flies by so fast, man. Golly. It really does. Appreciate all y'all participating in that. There's old Greg Hammett. He said late but here. Oh, Greg, I talked to him on the phone the other day. I threatened to go down to, I think we're going to go to Miller's Ferry this weekend. Fish ought to be up on the creek edges and the stumps. They ought to be there now. The water, you've had some warm weather. Believe it or not, the warmer the weather, more consistently warm weather, it puts those fish where they're supposed to be. So they have no choice to go exactly in their summer haunts then. When you got thermocline going, like John discussed every show, the thermocline's pushing, the bait's pushing, everything's setting up. This is a great time of year to catch a lot of fish. Stay in the heat. So.
Shane, I'll tell you some of the stuff that moved Ray and I around. I mean, never been to Kentucky. This lake we're on in Kentucky.
Green River, right?
Green River Lake. All right. So we get there and we're riding around. I was like, but I don't see any bait. I mean, I'm looking, we're going, but I'm looking. I was like, hell, why would fish be here? There's no bait. I said, we're up in the creek a little ways, and we were trying to find, some timber to fish, and we were in there, and we got to get back out toward the mouth of this creek or back out toward the main lake, back out toward the channels. And when I told, you told me some of the places we had talked about fishing over at Eufaula, you said they're not there anymore, so they're moving back out to the ledges.
Right. That's right. You told me. You said that. And like I said, the numbers don't tell me that, but this is the time of year they're going out there.
Well, and it's not just that. They're following that bait.
That's right.
That bait moves out, they're moving out.
Well, you got the smell, you got the sound. Like, Matthew Rogers was on here with us several months ago. A crappie, they don't do anything by accident. They know where they're going. And you don't believe me? Hey, set the hook on one, miss him, and watch him go right back down to that pile. It's the craziest thing even in muddy water, it's how they find each other where they are, but it's crazy.
So we could, we didn't see any bait in there, so I was like, let's move back out. Moved to the mouth of that creek. And what happened, there was really not any bait there. We saw those fish that kept going to the bottom. I said, all right, let's just keep pushing out. We'll hit some of these points and some of these humps that are out on the main lake, off the main channel that's in the middle of the lake. Go out there, bam, it works. Bam, it works. Fish had moved, like I said, had moved back out to the channels on the main lake. And that's what happens. They'll stay out there until later in the year, and they'll start moving themselves back in. Everything goes in cycles with it.
That's right. Bo Donaldson, he's talking about thermocline. That thermocline pushes the fish up. He was asking.
It moves the bait fish, which moves all the fish that eat on the bait fish.
I was in a creek down in Miller's Ferry. The thermocline was at 8 foot, guys. So guess what? I went on the flat and I fished anything above 8 foot. That's where the fish were. They were 6, 7 foot deep. That's where I caught them, a couple of weeks ago. It kind of gives you a general direction. Eric and them talk about Grenada. Last year they had a bunch of rain in the summer and they kept pulling from the dam, so it got rid of the thermocline so the fish could get in the mud. And now when you got a thermocline, it puts those fish up in the water column where they can go find them and, and present a bait to them. But that thermocline is very important. A lot of people knew about it with downscan and, downscan hummingbirds, but I really never even heard of it. But now if you look on the bottom of your live scope, and you can see that it looks like snow on the bottom. It looks like it's snowing.
The easiest way to see it's on down imaging.
That's exactly right.
You want a distinctive line, look at on your down imaging.
That's right. That helps narrow the fish down where they are. You get in 15 foot of water and you look down there at 10, 11 foot and think a thermocline, you got to find some structure up above it. So heck, it actually aids in narrowing down James Trott, the thermocline narrows down where the fish are. That's exactly right. Jamie said he's headed to Gunnersville. Oh, Shiloh done helped him out. Hopefully he'll go up there and catch some fish.
Shiloh's going to be changing diapers.
Woo, Shiloh. Woo, man. Woo. God bless him.
Any day now.
I know he told me. I know he said he was trying to get that guide trip over with last weekend, and they did. And now it should be, man, it should be. It should be any time. So, for sure. Let me see if I make sure I don't think I've missed any questions. So y'all just gonna chill out this weekend then?
We might play around on the new boat a little bit.
Oh, I knew it. I ain't listening.
We're taking the boat out, of course, but I'm saying we have no.
Yeah, you have no set plans. So
we're gonna sleep in.
Yeah, Jessica likes that.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't either.
30 or 7, not get up at 4:30 or 5.
Yeah. Jessica's got a stressful job. She has to get up and working at the hospital. So hey, they need their sleep. I don't blame her for sure. But heck, you get out there and I guess you're gonna start moving your stuff.
I don't know. I'm trying to make some have a method to my madness. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. The boat that, like I said before, the boat that we bought today had some really nice electronics on. I'm trying to decide if I want to incorporate some of it into. Well,
you got to sit there because you got your new boat you just got. It's got a 126 and a Solix on it, right?
Yes, it's got a Solix 12 and a 126 on it. Well, you got to think, I've got a Helix 9 in the front of my boat that's got 3,000 hours on it.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of hours. I feel bad even saying it.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's what you use. That's what you're using your side imaging and mapping with.
No. Up front, that Helix 9, I use it primarily for mapping.
That's right.
If I don't know what I'm gonna do, who knows? It's gonna be a lot of thought put into this one. I feel like we're gonna be using it for a while.
Yeah, man, you got the rig now. That's fun though. That's exciting to be able to rig a boat out like that. Get out there and go catch some fish, and it's always fun. Richard helped me rig mine up, and You know, we was chomping at the bit to get out there. You know, once you get it set up the way, you can take your time. You'll be able to set up in the boat, figure out where you're going to put where and what, you know, and figure out where you're going to put your speaker. And
it's already got that on there.
See, there it is.
I was lucky. This boat's got a lot of stuff.
John was telling me how good. If y'all could tell in the picture, look at the seats in the thing. I mean, you zoom in on there, the seats are. That's what you usually see. You know, the seats are worn, and like you said, you're gonna have little spots on the deck here and there. I mean, you know, Alex Seeley, what's he saying? Alex said live scope keeps glitching, freezing up if he's in 6 foot of water or less. Huh. I hadn't. What would be causing that, John?
Pitch angle.
Oh.
So make sure that you got the angle set correctly.
Yes.
On your we're talking about your transducer. That's what will make it do it a lot of times. That's the first thing I look at. Like I fixed several boats in the past couple months, and they wouldn't have that set. There's actually like a like this compass, but there's like a level in that transducer, and when you don't have it set correctly, it'll make it cool, so glitch and freeze and do all that stuff. So that's really the first thing I look at when somebody has a problem.
Is that when the HRS is off and your pitch angle or on? Or?
Yeah. Don't mess with all that until you make sure you got your angle correct. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. I mean, sometimes you have to go to that level of turning AHRS off and then manually set.
I had to do that with my 12. It was brand new. I was in Florida. I was about ready to punt it. I called John. I said, my screen is seesawing and it's brand new. I was about to lose it. And he's like, turn the AHRS off and adjust it. Make sure you're on a flat bottom and adjust that pitch angle till it's flat. And then that transistor knows where it's at. And that's what I did. So
the biggest thing is making sure that you have it correct as far as the angle before you're put in the water. He asked the question. That's what Jessica showed it to me. I would make sure that you got a little correct witness notch on the mount and go from there. Shoot me a message and I'll help you any way we can.
Yeah, I've carried Alex and his dad. His dad is the fire chief for Gulf Shores. We went fishing a couple weeks ago. Great people. He's down there fishing the Tensaw a lot down there. He cruises timber and stuff down there.
Poor fellas. He's keeping the stick out all the time. He's fishing Tensaw. He's trying to. He's stretching him 9 1/4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was talking about that while we were on the boat. He said, man, I can catch fish all day, just them eaters. And, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I'm headed to Jackson, Alabama, PCA paper mill in the morning. We're going to eat some breakfast and talk a little business. But I'll be right there on the Tom Bigby. I think that's around Scott D's and Derek's stomping ground around there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right there in Jackson. So I'm headed down there early in the morning.
I talked to those 2 little turkeys earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd been in Guatemala. I
called him, and he said, why you calling me? I said, you called me 3 times on butt dial. And I hadn't talked to him in a couple weeks. I guess Scott was butt dialing me.
But they're over there building houses over in Guatemala.
Yeah, so he showed me a picture. His wife, I guess, she's in the medical field. She'd been seeing patients over there. You know, he's like, yeah, we built this pre-COVID and all this stuff. They're down there on a mission trip. That's amazing. My hat's off to him for doing.
Oh yeah, several friends of mine are in mission trips now. Bill Ollie says, is there anything to be worried about swapping electronics from one boat to another? Just don't pinch a wire there, Bill.
No, Bill, I apologize. I was supposed to call you back when I got off the phone with Shane today. Listen, as long as the electronics you're taking off the old boat, you're putting on the new boat, don't worry about anything because the waypoints that you have on your electronics will go from boat to boat. Now, if you wanted to pull electronics from from one electronic piece to the other, I could talk you through that. Bill and I and Shane are good friends. We'll help Bill any way we can.
Oh yeah, Bill. Yeah.
But as long as you just look, I take some of my electronics from my main boat to my little boat.
That's right.
Same pedestal and the power cords and all that. I just swap them out in between the two. So
that's right. Yeah. It's everybody's fixing to get on here and watch that good debate. Everybody, it's real important to watch. So whatever political affiliation you got, hey, it's fixing to be on. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. But hey, we'll be back July the 11th. Congratulations to Mark Brown winning that hat. I'll be in touch with John and Jessica. I know John's probably going to go out there and sleep in that new boat. Where's John? He's out there laying in it.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you. It fires me up when somebody gets what they want. I really like it. So, Bill, he's getting his swap now. Bill, you need to tell us what kind of boat you got, buddy. I don't know. I didn't know. I know you was talking about getting another boat. You can call me or text me. But everybody have a great July the 4th. We'll be back the 11th, like I said. Go ahead. What's that?
Have a safe July 4th.
Oh, yes, safe July 4th. Yes, I'd make sure I wasn't missing nothing. Yeah, everybody be safe and shooting fireworks, man. Be safe. A lot of injuries get happening with fireworks and little beers and fingers get blowed off and all that good stuff. Hey, I mean, it happens. So there he goes. He got the one at CT Ward's. He got the XL. Good for you, Bill. He got that black one.
Good.
That's a good boat, Bill. Nice boat. It's built like a tank. So congratulations. Everybody get on there and watch the debate. I'm going to try to go fishing and enjoy the 4th myself. Y'all, like John said, message either one of us. Got any questions? We'll try to help you out if we can.
We don't want to have any political affiliation, but vote on the side of the fishermen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're for. The more money I can put in my pocket to go catch more fish, that's what whoever Snoopy, whoever gets in there. It doesn't. We'll see y'all. Y'all stay on here, John. See y'all. See y'all next, the 11th, week after next.